What is the worst part of marriage? You are not alone anymore. It's also the best part. If you are about to get married, I would encourage you to make sure you and your partner are on the same page about practical things and not just emotional ones. Someone's always in the way in the kitchen, and it's usually me. There's this other person living in your house apartment, and they won't leave. That the person you're married to today isn't the same as they were however many years, children, jobs, houses, etc. ago. And neither are you. That personal evolution can go in unexpected directions. And sometimes you realize you're not as compatible as you once thought. Doesn't mean it's over. But that's where the work comes in. Loving someone is messy and not everyone is prepared for when it gets challenging. In-laws. Trying to figure out what's for dinner every damn day. For me, the constant coordination of meals was annoying AF. For me, it's a double-edged sword of having another person whose welfare is as important as your own. It is reflected in turn. Providing support and love where you need it the most, but the sharp edge is when they suffer, or get sick, or have bad things happen to them that are outside your control or your ability to fix. It hurts immensely, and you feel both helpless and useless. My wife's farts. I appreciate she kept him a secret in dating, but the lady can strip paint off the walls. A good thing of it is we don't have to hire an exterminator. A trip to Cordoba and all small roaches and bugs die. Roaches can survive a nuclear explosion, but she can kill an entire nest with one blow. Entertaining and feeding the other person. Me every day, what would you like to eat for any meal? My wife every day, I don't know. My wife every day, I'm bored. Me every day, what would you like to do? You wanna play video games with me? Watch this show with me? Watch this movie with me? Go out to the park or to a museum? My wife, I don't know. Goes back to mindlessly scrolling social media all day. Me throws hands up in frustration when she invites people over, but I'm not in the mood for company. For me, it was the day he died. Never really expected that actual till death do us part. 35 years. I miss him every single day. Every time you need something new. A TV. A couch. Whatever, it's a fucking ordeal. You can't just look and find what you want. You have to agree. Being apart from one another. If it's more than one night, I get bummed. Trying to decide what to watch on the TV. Never getting to watch the show that has the daft humor you like that the other half does not find funny at all. Each having multiple diagnosed mental disorders which don't mesh well. An apartment with only one toilet. That it will end with your whole world dying, leaving you broken and alone. I think you can tell who is still married and who is divorced. Marriage isn't hard and it doesn't change your relationship. Time does. Babies do. These things make it hard. Communicate. Never stop talking and don't stop dating. Make them feel special and you'll never have a problem. That people always tell you that your life isn't complete without it. I was going to make a list. But let's just say it's a lot harder to get out of than it was to get into. All in one breath, not communicating your feelings because you care so much about your spouse. You don't want to hurt their feelings for your feelings being hurt, and they do the same thing, so no one says anything, and then the resentment starts and the fighting and arguing, and then you both blow up on each other for things that happened months ago that could have been resolved if you just understood that they love you no matter what. They end in death or divorce. Not being able to do what you want when you want. If your so likes to sleep in a cooler or hotter temp than you. Or if they like a warmer or cooler blanket comforter than you. That's really hard. My so likes sleeping cooler with a warm comforter. I like sleeping warmer with a light blanket. It's hard to be truly comfortable with her bedroom temperature. When you to find out one day that they are no longer into a special activity that you were expecting to be a regular part of marriage. And you are kinda stuck with that situation forever. Sometimes I feel like a burden to him. Even though he does not feel that way about me. Trying to earn love is a personal growth condition. Knowing you are puts you at rest. What if marriage contracts automatically expired after 5 years? And only a new contract with either reinstatement of the original terms or new terms would keep each couple married. Having to explain how I feel about things to my husband in a way that he'll understand. It's mentally and emotionally draining for me. Worst part is you can't just fucking leave. When you're dating someone you can just get up, flip them the bird, and walk the fuck out whenever you want. Can't do that when you're married. Shit takes a long time. You gotta pay for and talk to the worst kind of lawyers. Divorce lawyers. And divide shit up and do fucking paperwork and sign a bunch of shit, and someone is probably gonna owe the other one a bunch of money or a house or whatever. Simple. Or break. Wishing you could do it all again when your spouse passes away and you can't. Vows are becoming meaningless. Good times and bad. Sickness and health. Richer or poor. When hard times come, more and more people will throw it all away instead of working through the problem. It's becoming a very disposable society. Not just for physical things but relationships as well. Abuse is another story. Nobody should ever have to deal with an abusive relationship. The constant compromise. Divorce. Really? You join your entire lives together. Joint checking. Shared phone plans. Shared insurance plans. Kids together. Both on the len of the house. The worst part of marriage for me has been my divorce. Messy emotionally and logistically. Monogamy is both the best and worst part of marriage. The worst part is when your spouse's libido completely disappears and she doesn't give a shush tea how it affects you. The Dementors. Babies. Mother-in-laws. The stupidly exorbitant cost of getting married. We did it as cheap as we could while still including family and couldn't get it under $5,000. For some reason. Even a regular Publix cake turns into $300 even when it's a plain white 3-tiered cake that they'd sell separately for $30 a piece. Everything else is great if you actually care and put in the work. When the spouse dies, the despair kills people. I've never been married, life just worked out that way. I've seen my sister's marriage implode after they had kids. Hubby felt neglected and wouldn't help with the kids' house but still wanted to be adored. Cousins. Friends' marriages have failed. I put it down to the fact that life changes. People change with the changes. The person you marry isn't the person live with 10 years later. Sometimes that realization in and of itself can be the worst part of a marriage. That moment when you don't know the person you married anymore. Divorce. Having to tell your kids you are getting divorced. Nothing, to be honest. There is no worst part that applies to everyone. That one thing you hate might be the thing another person likes best. The worst part for me was that after 20 years, we had very different views of what the next 20 years should look like.